Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I'm going to be hopping back in to the Blitz pool. My hand, for some reason, wants me to play d4, but we're running with e4 like usual against Banana Rage. And hopefully we can get something fun against the d6 Sicilian. The most fun line is if they play here and allow the Basman-Palatnik double pawn Gambit, which is what we're going to be seeing. So I'm going to be sacrificing quite a lot of pawns for hopefully a very fun initiative. And I think taking is maybe one of the more interesting ways. And now, usually you play rook to b1, trying to get this going this way. And this actually is usually a very good line for white. So we'll see what they're going to do. Yeah, okay, they need to do something to take aims against this. Now I'm trying to prepare to meet this with here. So let me start by just playing just a normal innocent move. And if bishop g7, I play here threatening upon castling to trap a piece. Now the opponent, I guess, is aware of this idea. Very nice. I wonder if this is an idea. Not entirely sure. But just the point is, I'm trying to meet this with pushing this pawn. And I won't have kind of the usual threats. But I think it will be all right. That's a very interesting move. Okay. So at some point I might need to start pushing these pawns. The opponent understands what I'm trying to do. That's always frustrating. Don't you just hate it when your opponents understand what you're trying to do and then they like don't let you do it? Oh, I hate that. Now if castles, I'm still just going to push through. Still down a pawn, but I'm going to have this really strong D pawn that I'm going to hope is going to carry me to victory here. Because I also have this rook that can just come in. So let's start with that. And then if here, I mean, I'm just going to... The hits are just going to keep coming. So let's see where he decides to put the queen. Somewhere else... Oh, I forgot about this, but aren't I winning? Oh, maybe I'm not winning. Because he can go here, and even if I go here... Okay. So he gives up this guy, and now we're going to win. Okay, this is fun. This is a lovely game. Because takes now, I can give this check, and then promote my pawn. So this was cool, because the opponent they understood most of the threats that I were trying to make. Rematch offer sent, rematch offer canceled. Rematch offer sent, rematch canceled. I guess we're not playing again, which is fine with me, because I'm ready to analyze this game, and I thought it was kind of a fun one. And against the d6 Sicilian, I like now playing this. This is the delayed Alapin Sicilian. And after knight to f6, I play bishop to e2. And, I mean, the main idea, there's this little trap, which I think hardly anybody falls for, at least, you know, at a higher level. But this is check, and it wins a knight. So that's like the basic trap. It does happen about 16% of games, so you never know. But the main reason I like this is because you can play the Basman-Palatnik double pawn gambit, where they take, you take back, and now if they take this knight, you can play d5, and you have kind of the same threats. If this knight were to move somewhere, you would play the same idea. So black doesn't have time for something like that, so they have to throw in this check. Now knight to c3 offers yet another pawn, but they'd be a fool to go in for all of this and accept, because then you would have bishop to d2. And now you're attacking this and this, so you should be able to win a piece. So there's a lot of tricks and traps that opponents might fall for, but in this position, they instead should move the knight, and knight e5 is the most common response, and I like taking. You can also castle in that position, but this allows an interesting line where after they take and you castle, if they want, they can take more stuff. And another really greedy move that if you haven't seen before is kind of surprising, but you can take this as black. You need to go here and allow them to take. And the reason this line is so cool is because you can castle, and then after this recapture, you're down 3 pawns, but the computer will say it's +1 or more than that. So, I mean, it's a really good position for white, despite being down so many pawns. Your main idea is usually, step 1, try to bring this guy in. Step 2, try to make sure they can't bring their dark squared bishop in. So, a really fun and interesting way of playing. My opponent went here, but then decided never to greed for the c3 pawn, which was very interesting. They played g6, which I'm actually surprised is the most common move. Rook b1 enables me to go here. So if they, for example, made a blunder, this is actually the most common move on Lee chess. This gives me the option of bishop to b5, and it also gives me this idea that I was playing for in the game. Bishop b5 is good because, of course, if they go here, you know, something like this is going to be a crushing position for white, so they would have to move their king. But one of the main ideas that I was playing for in the game is d6, and this happens all the time, and then people castle thinking that you're going to take this pawn, but really you're trying to play d7, and maybe they think in this position they can play rook to d8 and pin and win your queen, but once you take this and you make something, a queen or a rook, this rook is pinned, so you're just going to win a lot of material here as white. That's one of the main ideas. But instead in this game, my opponent played a6, which is an aim against bishop to b5. I'm receiving a text message. I'll be with you momentarily. So here I just played kind of a waiting move. I suppose maybe there are some stronger ideas that I should have considered here. I was just hoping to put my rook on this file, knowing that I had this d6 idea in mind, but my opponent seemed very aware of it, because they played back before playing here. But here, if I play d6, there must be something different. So obviously, if they castle, then I'm going to play d7, and I'm going to win by trapping this bishop, and, you know, this still doesn't work, because we can take and make whatever. Okay, but instead, somehow this does work for them, because exactly here they have queen to c5. This is not a threat because you can take back, and if I took here, which is actually the best move, they can take back with their queen. So there's some interesting stuff going on. Queen a5, and the game continues. But I think the reason that my opponent went back is to guard against pawn to d6. So I decided to play bishop to a3 with the idea that now if they played here, I would be able to play d6, and if you're taking this or not taking this, somehow I'm going to be able to prevent you from castling and keep making a bunch of threats. I never mind if the position opens up even more, all the better. But after here, what happened? They attacked my rook, so I have a good direct move here, queen to a4, which maybe I should have considered a little bit more. And if you're forced to bring your bishop back, I can just go somewhere, keep the attacks coming. I don't know, let's say they played b5, c4, continuing to open up the position, and, you know, it's still a very, very good position for white. But I played here knowing that I'm basically going to be doing this. This is the way that I'm intending on trying to win this position. I didn't see bishop to h6, an unusual square for the bishop, but, you know, it would come with a tempo against my rook. So maybe a missed spot there by the opponent. Guy gets castled, I decide to push forward. I'm a little bit surprised that this is actually good for black. It is a little bit surprising, but after this, they've made a grave error, and I didn't punish it with pawn to g4. Wow, okay, so there's a lot of takeaways from this game. Rook to c7 also is very strong, but better is queen to a5. Attacking this and just getting the queen where she'll be probably a lot more mobile. I only have one move, which is to play queen to b3. And then rook d7 defends, and okay, black is doing just fine. I can continue bishop to b4 and whatever. So, wow, kind of an interesting... a lot of stuff was actually missed in this game, so I'm going to learn a lot. Now, I didn't see this move by the opponent, but fortunately, it's super duper losing, because now I can trade everything off, take this rook, and forcibly get my thing in. g4 still like a winning idea. Never would have came to my mind, but this is good enough, and hopefully it's good enough to get you to subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. See you later.